Hello and welcome to your morning class. My name's Keegan, the Balanced Nomad, and today I'm going to take you through this gentle practice to help you start your day with movement and intention. And before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you so much for 150 subscribers. It really means so much to me, and I'd love it if you subscribed if you enjoy this class today. We can find a seated cross-legged position to begin. We're just going to find 3 quick breaths to center ourselves here. Blinking open eyes if they were open. Bringing hands out to the side on an inhale, just bringing them overhead. And on an exhale, bringing them back down. We're just going to repeat this a few times, inhaling up and exhaling down. Really focusing on syncing breath with movement. This is what I want you to focus on throughout the duration of the class. No matter what your poses look like or where you think you're supposed to be, as long as you're finding movement and bringing it with breath, you're exactly where you should be this morning. Last one, dropping with an exhale. And beginning with a gentle neck stretch, just walking out right fingertips, and we can drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Just feeling a nice stretch on the right side of the neck. Coming back to center. Walking out the fingertips on the left side, bringing right ear over to the right shoulder. Bringing breath to the left side of the neck. And coming back to center here. We're going to find a seated butterfly fold from here. I'm just turning to the side so you can see me a bit better. So just creating a diamond shape with the legs here. Closer feet are in towards the hips, the more intensely you'll feel this. So just choose the distance that feels best suited for you this morning. Just an inhale. And exhaling, folding down. We're going to make this stretch super passive, so don't feel the need to keep the back straight. You can stay up on palms, fingertips, or come down to the elbows if you have room for that. And maybe dropping the head. Just bringing breath to the hips here. And walking ourselves back up with the hands. We're going to find a seated pigeon pose from here. So walking hands behind us. Grabbing the right foot and placing it on top of the left knee, creating this figure 4 shape, flexing the right foot. And the closer the left foot is in towards you, the more intensely you'll feel this in the right hip. So just choosing the distance that feels most appropriate. And you can find stillness or maybe a little rock feels better. Being sure to stay up straight in the upper body. We can release this leg. Just finding the same pose on the other side. So bringing the left ankle to the top of the right knee, bringing in that right foot if that feels appropriate. Just playing around, trying to find where it feels best. Maybe finding stillness or a little rock here. We can release this one. Finding Janu Sirasana, our head to knee pose. So straightening out that right leg, bringing the left foot in towards the inner thigh, extending the upper body up straight on an inhale, And folding forward on an exhale, hands can come to thigh, shin, ankle, underneath the foot, or big toes. So really lots of options here. Again, maybe play around, see where it feels best for you today. Remembering there's not any place that's better or worse. The benefit is the same. So be sure to choose where you feel best, not where you think you should be. Taking the ego out of it. Bringing breath to the back of that right leg. And walking ourselves out with the hands. Planting the left foot onto the mat, we're going to find a twist from here. Inhaling up, straightening that right arm, hooking the right elbow on top of the left knee and looking over the left shoulder. Seeing if on the exhales, can you deepen your twist? Can you find more space here? Releasing out of this pose. Finding our head to knee pose on the opposite side. So bringing right foot to the inner thigh. Inhaling, upper body comes straight. And folding forward, grabbing wherever is appropriate for you. And maybe dropping the head if that feels okay for the neck. And walking ourselves up with the hands. Finding this seated twist, planting right foot down, inhaling, left arm comes up, hooking that elbow and looking over the right shoulder. Inhale brings you nice and tall. And exhaling, can you find more space in your twist? Remembering, if you hit a point where it's hard to breathe, you've probably gone too far. Releasing here. Moving to our downward dog, planting hands and bringing feet. First downward dog of the day. Heels may or may not be on the mat. No problem either way. Might feel good to paddle out the legs here, bending through right and straightening the left. And switching. Maybe stillness feels better for you. From here, we're going to move to lizard pose. So moving in whatever way feels best for you. For me, I like coming from a three-legged dog, pulling the knee through and bringing it to the outside of the right hand. If this is feeling just too intense for you this morning, feel free to just hang out in a low lunge here, framing the front foot with the fingers. But if you like to try lizard in the morning, bringing hands to the inside of that right foot, can keep the back knee lifted or drop the knee down. Just here for a few breaths. And moving to our pigeon pose from here, we can heel toe that right foot to the left side of the mat, bringing right knee behind that right wrist. If this is feeling too intense for you, feel free to go back to the seated pigeon pose we did at the beginning of class. But if you're in pigeon with me, and just remember there's no need for that shin to be at a 90-degree angle. If it's a bit more back, totally fine. And we can stay up on the hands, or if it feels appropriate, you can come down to elbows, Maybe stacking fists on top of each other and placing the head down, or bringing the forehead to the mat and walking ourselves up with the hands. Coming out however feels best, maybe just rolling right onto that right glute, and maybe just finding a windshield wiper motion to release the tension in the hip. And we're gonna repeat this sequence on the other side. So just coming back to our downward facing dog. Just a few breaths, maybe finding that paddle with the legs or just choosing stillness. And transitioning into our lizard pose, I'm going from three-legged dog, but feel free to get there any way that feels appropriate. That foot comes to the outside of the hands, or maybe just staying in low lunge here if lizard is feeling a little too intense. Optional to stay up on the foot or drop back knee. Just here for a few breaths. And coming into our pigeon, heel toeing that left foot to the right side of the mat. Left knee comes behind left wrist. Shin may or may not be at 90 degrees. And if this is too intense, feel free to find that seated pigeon pose. Maybe we stay up on the palms or coming down. This is your practice, so choosing where you want to be. Doesn't have to be the same pose as me. And we can just walk ourselves up with the hands, coming back, finding a little windshield wiper to release the hips. And we can come to tabletop here. Just finding a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhaling, bringing chest down, gaze goes upwards. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, bringing chin to chest. Inhale takes you to cow. And exhale brings you to cat. Coming back to a neutral spine, we're just gonna walk ourselves down to a cobra. So placing hands roughly under the shoulders, just pressing ourselves up to cobra. If this is too much, optional, just stay in Sphinx on the forearms here. Just here for a few breaths. Bringing chest back down and rolling over onto our backs. Just finding a laying butterfly here, so bringing feet together. Closer feet are in towards the hips, the more intensely you'll feel this. And releasing legs out straight. And from here, coming into waterfall position. So bringing legs up straight, flexing into the feet. Also optional to come into shoulder stand if that feels appropriate. But if not, we're just here in waterfall. And we can drop the legs, finding a little twist here, bringing right knee in towards the chest. And bringing right knee over to the left side. You can also have both legs over if that feels a bit more supportive, but the twist will be a little bit more intense with just the one leg. We stretch out the right arm, pressing that right shoulder blade into the mat, and gaze can come to our right fingertips. Coming back to center, giving that right leg a squeeze, and finding the twist on the opposite side, bringing left knee in towards the chest. And left leg goes over to the right side. Maybe both legs are over or just the one. Left shoulder blade is pressed into the mat. Our gaze is towards our left fingertips. Coming back to center, squeezing in that left knee towards the chest, and bringing the right knee, just giving ourselves a big hug here. A little moment for self-love, thanking yourself for showing up to this practice this morning and prioritizing your well-being. And we can rock ourselves up to seated, coming to center to close out our practice. Shutting down the eyes, finding some deep breaths, reflecting how we feel, even just after a short yoga practice, any shifts that have occurred in the mind or the body. Bringing our hands to prayer to the center of the forehead, bowing forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself this morning and practicing with me. If you want to practice with me again, I post lots of morning classes, so be sure to subscribe and leave me a comment if you enjoyed this short, gentle yoga practice, and I'll be sure to make some more. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.